So 2024 is on track to be the hottest year on record. Now, to talk more about this, we have Lauren Casey, a meteorologist with Climate Central, to discuss, what are the ramifications and how do we know this? So, Lauren, thank you very much for taking time to talk with me here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So I guess my main question, and this is always whenever I say stuff like this, and the first question I get asked is how do we know this? What is the scientific method that goes into us knowing that 2024 is the hottest year on record?
Yeah, that's a great question. Scientists at NASA and NOAA take in a lot of data. So there's a vast network of temperature sensors all across the globe, both on the land and on the ocean surface. So on the land through weather stations, on the oceans through buoys or even ships. And then they also integrate satellite data into that. So they take all of these temperatures and they come up with an average temperature for the planet. So it's kind of like a thermometer. Basically, we get a temperature reading for the entire globe.
And I guess the other question, though, is with these warming temperatures globally. There's a lot of direct correlation with more severe weather events. How would a warmer overall climate globally contribute to stronger storms?
Yeah, well, storms are very complex, severe storms. As you know, a lot of ingredients go into making these storms in the atmosphere. But there's really like two primary ingredients, and one of those is moisture, and another is instability. And to get instability, you really need to have heat driving that. So, increased warmth in the atmosphere is helping to drive these severe storms.
Well, I guess on that note too, and this is a question I as well get asked all the time. We get a cold snap here or a cold snap there, but I thought the world was warming. Why are we seeing at times record-breaking cold in parts of the United States?
Yeah, fair question. But what we're talking about is the long term average over decades, right? So, yeah, you're still going to have weather. Weather's going to be weather. We're still going to have cold, although we're seeing less extreme cold. And we're still going to have outbreaks of cold spells, but it's a long term average over a period of decades and instead of like a year or a couple of days that we're looking at. That's the difference between weather and climate. So you can kind of think of climate as your wardrobe and weather as one outfit.
All right. So, we're talking about climate here. Um, so I saw that we are 1.5 degrees above the pre-industrial threshold. Can you explain what exactly that means to just like the average person? Doesn't really wait. No, 1.5 degrees doesn't sound like a lot. What does that mean, and how does it affect maybe a surge in like billion-dollar disasters that we're seeing?
Yeah, good question. Well, I like to liken it to take yourself, the human body, right? On average, we have a internal body temperature of 98.6. You tack on 1 degree to that, you start running a fever. You tack on one or two more degrees to that, and you have a severe fever where, it becomes dangerous and you may need to be hospitalized. So 1 degree actually can have profound impacts.
And I guess the next question is so we get these warmer temperatures. Um, it's Can you explain? Because I saw on this graphic here, how the increasing temperatures is increasing or decreasing, I should say, the interval between billion-dollar severe weather events.
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess my question is what's that connection? And the second part of the question is how could we mitigate additional disasters?
Uh, there's a lot to unpack there. Let me.
I guess yes, you're right. There's a lot. Let's take it with the first part there.
Okay.
So my first part is and just kind of touching in on the information that was put out here by Climate Central about how the U.S. experienced $24 billion weather and climate disasters this year through November.
Right.
four fewer than the record in 2023,
Mhm.
but still a vast increase over decades in the past. Can you kind of explain that connection between what we're seeing globally and the disasters we're experiencing?
Yeah, well, basically, by emitting greenhouse gases, carbon into the atmosphere, methane as well, also called natural gas, we're kind of fueling the atmosphere. We're adding extra energy to our atmosphere, which is then transitioned and input into these storms. And we know hurricane season we just had, and the $1 billion disaster, the final tally, the figures, the number, the cost for Milton and Helene haven't even been tabulated yet. So this could be a record year as far as cost, total cost for the entire year 2024. So, and we know through Climate Central analysis, also attribution analysis, that climate change impacted every hurricane we had in the Atlantic basin in 2024, making it stronger.
Can you explain, just to unpack what you just mentioned there? It's impacted every hurricane in 2024. What are some of the impacts that you mean here outside of just general, hurricane formation?
Yeah, it increased the intensity of these hurricanes. So we measure hurricane intensity, well, two ways: minimum pressure and then also wind speed, the maximum sustained winds. You may hear that a lot when we're talking about hurricanes on TV and tracking the hurricanes. So we know that climate change increased the maximum sustained winds in all of these hurricanes this past hurricane season. And we know that because climate change is heating up our oceans, our sea surface temperatures, and warm ocean water is the number one main ingredient that a hurricane not only needs to form, but also to sustain itself. And also, if you have unusually warm ocean temperatures, which we did, it can help drive that rapid intensification of these systems.
So I guess part one of this is education and letting people know why things are heating up and that they are heating up, first of all, globally with the temperatures. But I guess my other question to you is, what first as I guess what can we do to mitigate not only warming temperatures globally, contributing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but mitigate impacts from some of these major billion-dollar disasters we are seeing? If I know it's a lot there, but if you got any just tips for maybe people, or maybe just as a country as a whole, or anything like that.
That's a great question. And I would say the number one thing is awareness and talking about it and educating yourself and educating your family and friends. Because we live in this new reality. We live in this new climate. So, and we need to prepare ourselves and our family members to deal with that, to deal with this type of extreme weather. And not even just extreme weather on the day to day, it's extending our allergy seasons. You have to be aware of that you might be sniffling and sneezing, might need to have more allergy medicine on hand. So it goes from, extreme severe weather to kind of like your daily, everyday life that climate change is impacting. So I think having those conversations is really important. And then the awareness that we need to reduce our emissions. So carbon, greenhouse gases, they are driving this warming in our atmosphere. We know that it's proven science, it's been established. So just, the onus isn't on the individual, all of the individuals, but we have some responsibility, right? The onus is on our governments, but we vote people into office, and the onus is on businesses, but the onus a little bit is on us as a community and as individuals. So just thinking about, do I need to drive somewhere, or could I take a bike? Could I walk? Thinking about, natural gas is actually methane. I know natural gas has been kind of very successful at advertising themselves as being a good thing. It's actually not a great thing. So even doing things like, if you can, like, get an electric stove as opposed to a gas stove, these kind of like small decisions you can make in your household, if you're able to, that if we all do as millions of people, will help reduce our emissions.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lauren. If people want to know more about this, you said the number one thing is awareness. Where could they go to get more information on, 2024 being the warmest year on record, or anything else to do with our changing climate?
Great question. Well, of course, you can go to climatecentral.org and check out our website, but also we have great federal agencies, NOAA, the National Weather Service, NASA. So go check out those websites. They have a wealth of information.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lauren Casey, meteorologist from Climate Central. I appreciate you stopping by and taking time to talk with me here.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you're having this conversation with your viewers and watchers and your community at large.
Thanks.